Greetings, everybody. Thank you for being here. Today, we are going to talk about the power of brand storytelling for entrepreneurs. And this is going to be a 5-part series. So all week, we are going to talk about brand storytelling, why it matters, elements of a good brand story, how to craft your own brand story. So stick with me. Keep it here all week from Monday the 27th, all the way to Friday the 31st. We will be talking all matters brand storytelling. So have you ever wondered why some brands stick with you while others fade away? Sometimes, there are brands that, just linger in our minds. When you go shopping, you go shopping already with a specific brand in mind. That if it doesn't matter if there are new brands that have come up, if there's something that sticks in your mind because of the emotional connection, because of the good experience or the quality of the product, that's what you go for. You never waver from a good brand, a brand that you have connected with. And we keep seeing people, reminiscing about brands they grew up loving, in the 80s, in the 40s, in the 60s, in the 90s. There are those brands that just stick in your head and you're like, oh yeah, this reminds me of my childhood. This reminds me of my school days. This reminds me of this place I visited. Why? Because these brands were able to connect with you emotionally. So great brands stories leave audiences feeling important, valued, part of a community, and championed. When we say championed, it means you feel somebody has your back. You feel somebody is looking out for you. You have a sense of belonging. You feel like the service provider or the business is actually, rooting for you directly. So they make you feel part of their products, part of their services. And these are some of the things that, makes us, lean towards some brands and just ignore others. So great brand stories leave audiences. There's something they will leave their audiences with. There's a certain memory. There's a certain experience, good feeling that they will leave with their audiences. So the question is, what kind of feeling, what kind of impression does your brand leave behind? So let's look at why brand storytelling matters. We're going to look at 2 quotes and then we will look at some examples. So storytelling in business is the bridge that connects your brand's mission, values, and journey to your audience's desires. So storytelling focuses on creating an emotional connection that resonates deeply with your audience. If you can connect with your audience or followers emotionally, then you have their loyalty, you have their trust, you have their following in terms of, they become diehard towards your product. So even if more your competitors come up, even if new products come up, as long as you have won the hearts and you've connected emotionally with your audience, with your customers, with your followers, then you have been able to you've won the day, because it means your story, the story of your brand, has been able to reach the core of your target market. So what are the key benefits? What are some of the key benefits of telling the story of your brand? Why should you keep telling the story of your brand? If you look at all the top successful brands that we know, those brands that we sing about, we keep seeing on our billboards, we are loyal to, there are some key benefits that they carry. There are some key elements that they uphold. There are some things that are synonymous to all these successful brands. And that's what we want to look at today, and then see how we're going to replicate that into our own businesses. So number one of the key benefits of telling your brand story, you're able to build emotional connections. I cannot emphasize enough about you building emotional connections with your audience. Now, let me come closer. When we look at the digital space, we have, communication. Brands are communicating differently. They are using influencers maybe, or entertainers or comedians to pass a message, to sell their products, to promote their products and services. And now these comedians are using stories, whether it's a skit, whether it is how they package the product or service, there's an element of storytelling, and they don't tell their story directly. So by the end, because they've already gripped you and you're attached to what they are saying, or you're laughing, you're sad, or you're angry, because all these are feelings, all these are emotions. By the time you get to the end of the skit or the entertainment, then you realize it's an advertisement. They were doing a promo of products and services. Now that's what we call brand storytelling. If you can evoke feelings that inspire loyalty, that, people will always remember how you make them feel. That means the same way you remember those brands when you're growing up, it's because of the impact they left with you. It's because of the memories that when you're using their products or services, those kind of memories are the ones that make you feel connected to that particular brand. So as an entrepreneur, ask yourself, are you able to hack this particular thing? Are you able to make your customers or target market feel a certain type of special way? All right. Then another benefit of sharing your brand story or leaning towards your brand story as a business is people lean towards relatable stories. When you showcase your achievements, when you showcase your challenges, when you showcase your processes, of course, gatekeep where you need to, but when people see behind the scenes of what you do, for example, if you go on YouTube or TikTok, there are these behind the scenes of processes where manufacturers show how they produce certain products, we also see service providers showing us their process of coming up with a service, and they document the whole process. People love those particular videos or documentaries or processes. When somebody talks about, let me carry you in my day, that is humanizing a brand. So if you're an entrepreneur, don't just open your shop and you're not attaching a story to it. Don't just come to social media and put out posts and that human element is missing. People want to connect with your business at a human level. They want to relate with your business. So ask yourself, how can I humanize my brand? If it is not humanized as well, how can my brand be relatable to my customer or target audience? All right. Another key benefit is building trust. Authentic storytelling creates credibility, where your audience believes in your story, they believe in your brand, and then it differentiates your business. Your story is yours, unique and irreplaceable. It's the one thing that competitors can't copy. So if you want to stand out, if you want to shine, then you must be able to craft your brand story. You must be able to know, what story am I sharing with my target market? What emotions do I want to evoke? What output am I looking for when I share my brand? And sharing your brand means it's the promoting the products and the services that you're offering. How do you want to connect with your audience, with your offering? So your story is yours, but you must know how to tell this story. So tomorrow we're going to look at elements of a good brand story. And by the time we get to Friday, I'm sure you'll be able to have that confidence to craft your own brand story, okay? So we're going to look at examples of storytelling from popular brands. Let's start with Absa Kenya. Absa Kenya is popular. We see it everywhere. I mean, everybody will say, there's nobody who will say they don't know about Absa. Absa is a global brand, and one of the things they focus on are impactful stories, stories that speak to the aspirations or the desires of its customers, and they're deeply invested in financial empowerment and community development. These are things that endear to people. When people see a brand that comes closer to them, they identify with that particular brand. They appreciate that particular brand. And when people connect and follow through with a particular brand in a way that they feel that their desires are being met, their aspirations are being met, it means that particular brand, like Absa Kenya, they have managed to tell their story well, because then they're connecting emotionally with their audience. The underlying message is your story matters. The challenges in your business matters. The milestones that you're making matters. The needs that you have as a business or as a brand matters. You know, the milestones you want to cover, you have already covered, and you want to cover in future matters. And we are here to support you. Consider us as your trusted partner on this journey. Imagine if a brand packages themselves in that way. You feel appreciated. You feel connected to this brand. You feel this is a brand I want to identify with. And so when we look at the story of Absa Kenya, then we see how good storytelling connects with people. Let's look at Apple. Apple talks of luxury. It talks, when you think Apple, you think creativity, you think innovation, and there's that human connection, where Apple has singled itself out as a brand that transforms lives in terms of their products, and their products are not just tools, they're enablers of passion and individuality. And you find people who own Apple products, there's a certain way they feel appreciated. They feel sometimes they feel in a certain class. They feel luxury is part of them, and this makes them feel special. And so that means that Apple has managed to use technology to transform lives in terms of how they make people feel and how they connect to their customers. Let's talk of Nike. Everybody knows Nike. Everybody understands Nike. And everybody knows that, when you just say just do it, it means, whatever you've set yourself to do, you will achieve that goal, that milestone you want to achieve, that aspiration you want to achieve. If you just say just do it, you just feel you're going to do it, you're going to get there. And sports people have been able to identify with Nike, not just in the products that they wear, but also in their craft, in their sports craft. They know just do it means I'm going to conquer this marathon. I'm going to conquer this race, because it is just do it. So Nike's stories transform the brand into a catalyst for personal growth and achievement. So this is what I'm talking about when I talk about brand storytelling. So what kind of storytelling do you want your brand to coin or to follow through with? Now, these are some of the questions I want to leave you with. I want you to ponder on this, even as we look forward to tomorrow when we'll be discussing elements of a good brand story. I want you to ask and ponder through with these questions. What emotions do your audience associate with your brand? If your brand disappeared today, and disappearing does not necessarily mean that it fizzles out forever. It means even, you're scaling up to something else. You're growing into something else. That's what maybe, disappearing. It could be, I don't want to lean on disappearing in terms of your business is normal, your brand is normal. I want to lean on you're moving on to something else. So this is what you have been doing the last 10 years, but now you're moving on to something else. Now, the people who knew you for this particular past brand, what can they say about your brand? What impact did you have on their lives when that brand was active? Because sometimes you see people moving from one and they are graduating to something else, or they're changing to something completely different. So the question is, if your brand disappeared today, what story would your customers tell about your impact on their lives? That's a question to ask yourself, because it will help you pace yourself for where you are at now. How well does your current brand story align with the desires and values of your target audience? What unique experiences, challenges, or achievements could you share to make your brand more relatable and memorable? What small steps can you take today to craft a brand story that inspires loyalty, builds trust, and sets you apart in the market? Those 5 questions will set you apart. They will make you think through, they will help you audit your brand, they will help you think through your operations, they will help you think through your goals and objectives for this year and beyond. All right. And as we go along in the 5 days, you'll start getting clarity over what you need to do and change. So tomorrow, the 28th, we're going to look at elements of a great brand story. So why does your brand exist? Is the customer your hero, or is it your brand? What problem is your brand solving? What pain points is it addressing? What gaps is it filling? And the solutions you provide. So this is what we're going to look at tomorrow. And I want to leave you with this. Your brand is not just a product or service, it's a source of illumination. Don't forget that. That service and that product you offer, that business that you have and as an entrepreneur, that is light. That is a solution you're offering. It is illumination. It's a solution to people, regardless of the level you are at. It is a solution to somebody. It is a key to a door. It is light to some darkness that somebody is groping in. So don't just look at your business as an idea you had. Look at it as a source of illumination for many people, for other businesses, for institutions, and craft your brand story along with this. So thank you. Let's meet tomorrow as we look at elements of a good brand story. And in the meantime, as we wait for tomorrow's video where we'll discuss a different topic, please share your insights. Have you gotten something? Have you gotten some insights from this particular presentation? If you already have your brand story crafted, share with us your experience. If you're still struggling and you're still, are wondering what to do and how to tell the story of your brand, also share, and I'm sure somebody will reach out to you and you will get help on how to craft your brand story. Over and above that, I believe that by the end of the 5 days this week, we will have achieved milestones where our brand stories are concerned. So I wish you all the best. I look forward to your feedback. I look forward to your engagement, and see you tomorrow as we talk about elements of a good brand storytelling. Let's connect.